excuse me. I've had meetings, as you know, with Signor Rumor and with President Moro and with President Leone, with De Martino of the Socialist Party, and with Signor Tanassi. So I have seen quite a number of political leaders in the short time I've been here. I was very glad to come here because this is the I shall be the first foreign minister to have visited Italy since you assumed the presidency. And I think that is important because Italy has a role to play, a very important role to play in the presidency. And I have told Signor Rumor that we will do all we can to assist to make Italy's period of the presidency a success. Since the referendum, the whole of the British people and all our institutions have decided that they intend to try to make a success of our membership of the community, both in our interests and in the interest, I hope, of Europe as a whole. So I've come here on a constructive, purposeful mission. We've had a great many discussions concerning the future of the community, the way it should go, what can be done during the next few months. We've also had talks about a number of international problems, such as our relations with the United States, our relations with the Arab countries, our relations, of course, with Israel, the Mediterranean position, and indeed a number of other topics, especially the CSCE conference on security in Europe, where work is proceeding quite rapidly at the moment. Oh, but all Italians speak English. Yes, of course, yes, go ahead.
Di questa presidenza italiana della comunità. Devo dire che dopo il referendum tutto il popolo inglese e le istituzioni britanniche hanno deciso di cercare di...
I have felt very much at home here. There is a great feeling of sympathy between the Italian and the British people, and I've been received very hospitably indeed, and I shall look forward to coming back again. Indeed, I've made a bargain with Signor Rumor that we will have regular conversations on one condition, that I shall come to Rome twice for every single occasion that he comes to London.
Devo dire che mi sento come a casa mia qui a Roma.
My membership of the Council of Ministers, a considerable identity of interest, and I'm certain that in many of these areas it's possible to work out common policies. I hope that makes...
Tutto dipende da quello. L'Italia ha partecipato alla comunità da 20 anni, quindi se...
I'd like to ask you whether in your meetings with the Italian Foreign Minister and Prime Minister, you gave the impression that Italy has some concrete proposals to make for Europe during its 6 months of the presidency, and if so, what they are. And the second question, if I may, I noticed that you've been to see Mr. Tanassi, but you haven't been to see Mr. Berlinguer. Now, as you know, the Italian Communist Party has made considerable advances in the latest election. And the Communist Party has also made statements on its European policy, in particular with regard to being in favour of direct elections to the European Parliament, and also to be in favour of moves towards what it calls a socialist Europe. What sort of interest does a British Labour government have in the ideas of the Italian Communist Party?
Il governo laburista. As regards the first question, yes, I have put certain concrete ideas to Foreign Minister Rumor, but I don't think it's for me to indicate here what they are. They were a process of dialogue between us in which we were discussing, because it was the first 3 days of his presidency, the way in which he would use this 6 months, and we each of us had ideas about the way in which it could move forward. But I think it's for him to indicate the way in which he thinks he's going to move forward, rather than for me to indicate what I put to him about the way he should move forward. That's hardly, I think, my responsibility, nor would it be very polite. And in any case, I don't think I particularly mind who puts these ideas forward. If we've got thoughts about the future of Europe and the way it should develop, I have explained to the President, for the time being, that we will let him have them, and then he can put them forward. After all, the whole point of these ideas is not to claim pride of ownership, but to see that they're carried into practice.
Excuse me, that.
Foreign Secretary, and therefore it is my responsibility to deal with governments. But of course, it is the normal custom when foreign secretaries visit other countries, if leaders of opposition parties ask to see him, that he should try and fit them in. And I was therefore on that basis very happy to meet both Mr. Signor Tanasi and Signor Di Martino, and would have considered any proposal that had been put to me to meet any major party leader. But I think you shouldn't tempt me on the ground as to what I think of the policies of the Italian Communist Party or their significance. If I may reverse the situation, what would we think in Britain if an Italian foreign secretary came to Britain and dilated on the virtues or vices, as he thought they might be, of the British Conservative Party? So I really must decline your invitation there. I can only add, however, this singular fact that I do not lose sight of, that in the period of détente, it has always been made clear to me, in my contacts, that good relations between states with different economic and political systems does not mean that the ideological battle has been forsworn, that indeed the ideological battle between parties continues, and that détente, with its beneficial effect on the relations between states, does not necessarily mean that the party battle is at an end or that those who practice it have given up their ideologies. Now, I am myself a democratic socialist.
During your talks with Italian government leaders, have you been discussing relations between Britain and Uganda? The Italians have had some small problems with some missionaries expelled recently. I wondered if this was on your agenda at all with the Italians.
La domanda è nel corso delle...
I think there's a lady over there been trying for some time. Yes.
Navona, ma per tutta Roma e per sempre il Partito Radicale. Comunico inoltre che in adesione a questo impegno del Partito Radicale, questi compagni provvederanno successivamente a inviare dei compagni di fiducia avvocati della Lega degli Avvocati Libertari. Impedire che questo fatto, che questo fermo si tramuti in un disturbo della manifestazione. Noi dobbiamo star qui, dobbiamo continuare questa manifestazione, questa azione di impegno e di lotta. È necessario provvedere alla loro denuncia. Adesso